Hi guys, Rosemary Groner from Busy Budgeter and Hummus to Home Success here. And today's question is basically about how to stop overdrafting your account. So our reader today is somebody who really is struggling with budgeting. Quote unquote, she says she sucks at budgeting. That's very common. That's usually who we help best. And she said that she'll set up a budget. She'll be like, I'm doing it. I'm getting it done. And then she'll kind of fall off the wagon, stop paying attention for a couple of days, mistakes happen, and then she either goes to swipe her card and it'll get declined or it'll get overdrawn. She'll end up having to pay all of these overdraft fees, yada, yada, yada. So she's like, how do I stop this cycle? So there's a couple of things. First of all, it's good that you're learning how to start a budget, right? That's our first line of defense. But I also recognize that this is not a skill that happens overnight, and it's not like you set up a budget and then you're like, and I'm done. So we need to teach you the routines to actually stick with your budget and check it every day. That sometimes it doesn't happen right away for people because a lot of people are struggling with kind of all of the things and they really need to get some like basic organization in place. That's why we teach home management so heavily, even though what we really care about is budgeting, because we recognize that there are some key foundational home management routines that if it's so much easier to rock those than it is the budget. And once you get those in place, it's really easy to budget. So all of that being said, I'm going to teach you kind of a hack to use until we get our budgeting under control. Okay. So the hack is to have a what we call the check hold account. So let's say you bank at wherever. You're going to go to your bank and you're going to open up a second account. You can do this online. It's super easy. And when you open up the second account, make it a checking account. And then you're going to nickname the account. And you can usually do that online. It'll be like three little dots or something. You get down and it says edit. Edit nickname, edit name, something like that. And you're going to call it a check hold account. A check hold account is from now on, whenever you have money that is going to be outgoing for any reason, so like something that is going to be automatically debited on like Hulu, $8.99 a month, or and also just checks, I want you to have those going to the check hold account. Now, the way that you can set this up easily is you're going to go through all of your bank statements from the last 2 months. And I want you to write them all down. Anything that's automatically debited, whether you remembered it or not. So it'll be things like Hulu and Netflix, and sometimes there's yearly things like Amazon Prime. We're going to talk about that in a second. Write them all down, the total amount a month. So every single day, you need to have a minimum of that amount. Let's say it's $285 of like monthly debits that come out. So no matter what, we always need to keep $285 in that account because those are going to be debited as the month. Now let's go a step further and say you need to write a check for the kids' after school program or something. You're going to write a $250 check and send it to school with your kid, pretending that the pandemic isn't here and you actually have kids that go to school. And then you're going to immediately transfer that check amount, $250, whatever I said, into your check hold account. Now you don't have to stress out about whether that money's there. It's there. You don't have a debit card for that account. There's no access to that account. You just transfer over the money and then you don't worry about it. This is in the beginning. I ask people not to automatically transfer anything because I would rather you physically write checks or physically do bill pay so that you don't have to keep up with what do I have coming out, what do I have coming in. That being said, one of the only automations that I don't mind is if you have regular paychecks, let's say that if you have paychecks that come in on the first of every month, the only automation that I don't mind on the bank accounts is if that paycheck comes in on the first, having your $295 for your Netflix and your Hulu, your things that you're not allowed to write checks for, to go on the second or the third or whatever from your regular, income, where your income comes in for your regular checking account to your check hold account. Now, what this does is it makes it so that your regular checking account doesn't have anything that's like you would have to physically do something in order for those amounts to be reduced. They're not money, it's not money that's going to be coming out without you remembering and noticing. Now, there is a buffer of a couple of months here because one of the things that we didn't talk about is yearly things like Amazon Prime or just random things you probably signed up a year ago and you have no idea, you didn't know that it was happening. So there's a couple of options. One of the things is that you can use a false zero balance, right? Which means that in your check hold account, you're going to keep $200, but that $200 you're going to treat as zero. So when the account has $200 in it, it's at zero. If you're the type of person that is going to, and this is a behavioral thing, so I have no idea who you are. If you're the type of person that is going to write a check and be like, "Ugh, I don't need to transfer that money over right away because I know that I have that $200 buffer," we can't do that because you're going to continue to overdraw the account. Only now it's going to be in checks and way more embarrassing because checks are usually written to like people you know, like after school or something. So one of the ways that we can fix this, if you are not the type of person that can use the false balance, then you can set up another account, open another account. If you're worried about having too many bank accounts, we have like 12 or 13. Like that was actually a year ago. We probably have more now. I'm a big fan of multiple bank accounts. I think it's the smartest thing that anybody could do. So if that's you, then I want you to set up a separate account. This one's going to be a savings account in it. You're going to stick $100 or $200 in it. Basically, you're sticking in the amount of money that would be like your wow, that's you, you want to have enough so that there's nothing unexpected that would be over that amount. Do you know what I mean? So like if you make $25,000 a year, it is very unlikely that you have like a $5,000, random charge that's going to come through. But if your income's like $150,000 and you suck at budgeting, it's very possible you might have something random for $5,000. So it really just depends on what is an amount that you're like, there's no way I'm going to have anything more than that come through randomly. And then you're going to put that amount in the savings account, and then you're going to, and you can call your bank to do this if you can't figure out how to do it online, but you're basically going to set up your check hold account to have automatic drafting. I cannot remember the name of it. It's basically like if you don't have enough money in this account, it's automatically going to draft to that special savings account you just set up. And you can call it oh shoot, or that's whatever you want to call it. It's an oh shoot account. Like if something wrong goes here, it's going to go from here. And then you can set up an alert and say if anything ever gets withdrawn from this account, send me a notification. And that's kind of like a system to circumvent the fact that you suck at budgeting. Now, while those things are in place, that's going to prevent you from overdrafting, but we still need to solve the core element of how to get you better at budgeting. And so the way to do that, and I think you've already taken a couple of these steps, I've read your email, is that number one, we need to figure out basic home management. I'm not talking about I don't need your house clean, I don't need your windows washed, I don't need anything to even be organized. I need your house to run smoothly enough so that it supports your ability to save money. And what that means is that if you're blowing way too much money eating out every month and you can't cook in your kitchen because everything's a mess, you don't know what you have, you can't meal plan, you don't even know when you have appointments and things like that, it's going to be almost impossible to teach you how to budget because I can teach you how to budget in theory, right? Where you're like, this makes so much sense, it's totally going to work. But if your life habits don't support your ability to predict and save money, then you can know it in theory all you want. You're not going to be able to do it in practice. It's like so many people understand how to meal plan, but they can't get it to apply to their life because they work double shifts and they have three jobs, and they go straight from work, and then they've got to pick up the kids from school, and then they've got Susie's got dance, and then Smith's got soccer or whatever. So we need to get those things under control first. And so I'll leave a link below for like a basic, like this is your bottom level home management routines that you need to have in place before you can really actually start budgeting and have it work. And then I'll leave a link for the 90-day budget boot camp. That's going to be your second layer. The 90-day budget boot camp is going to teach you how to set up that the budget, and it's going to teach you some tricks to stick to the budget because just like there's always workarounds, right? Ideally, what we want is for you to do this the right way. If you're trying to do it the right way and it's not working, then we need to do some hacks similar to what we did today to have you not overdraft. And then while we've got the hacks in place, we can kind of go a little bit deeper and teach you more about how to actually stick to the budget, working with your personality, because that's the only way this is going to work. Okay, so I've already given you some homework. I'm going to leave the links below and we're going to start from there. All right.